As I'm announced, I represent Business Advisory Council of Southeast Europe. Business Advisory Council was set up some 15 years ago as a private sector initiative that was aiming at trying to provide channels of communication between private people, private business people, investors in the region who have been concerned of the political and economic developments of the region. And they wanted to build channels of communication, networks that will enable prudent, honest businessmen to share information and coordinate their activities in order to, in one way, help the region rebuild, reconstruct, and turn to its original meaning a prosperous region for Europe. But it also wanted to actually understand better what are the needs and concerns of the countries of the region in order to provide private sector help and assistance, an opportunity to co-invest with the governments and societies of the region in providing better infrastructure, conditions and well-being for the people. We decided to continue basically by inviting local business people to rejoin Business Advisory Council and continue networking. What we ultimately believe is that the small and sometimes disconnected markets of Southeast Europe are not providing good opportunity for business investments. We believe that providing a larger market, specifically the one that has been coordinated and assured right now with this new CEFTA agreement, will enable business to do business cross-border, for people to travel, for capital to flow, and for businesses to invest in the larger opportunities. We are very specifically concerned about the business of communication, transportation, and other infrastructure. But we have been also very much concerned about the ability of young people to travel and see other lands, see other opportunities behind the ones they live in. And this education opportunity for them has been an important element of that. So we are happy to see that finally the European Commission has decided to lift off the visa regime for students, educators, and all those willing and in the need of travel to Europe. That's very, very important contribution. Historically speaking, when we look back, the dynamics between the society and business has not always been the best one. Originally, of course, governments and societies prevailed in a way. Political themes, political topics, political targets have been more important than anything else. Very often this political agenda went and created conditions for conflicts. We also see that when the businesses prevailed in the history, and that could be the very, very last period of our history, when we saw the businesses really prevailing socially, being more effective, more efficient, dominating over the society, that ultimately it did not end up in a situation where societies were happy with seeing business too efficient. Sometimes people in the business aiming at efficiency forgot why they are there. And business is there to help society bloom, not the vice versa. Business is here to make people happy, not to endanger their lives. So right now we believe we are in the entirely new perspective, a new momentum in the dialogue and communication between business and society. We generally think that there is a new education need for both, I would say, governments and businesses to understand what is the best of the breed. We think that there is not enough communication between the people in the business business and in the government. So that's why we would like to encourage public-private dialogue in general. We would like to see structures and organizations and institutions built around that dialogue. We believe that there is, on both sides, a goodwill, but not enough attempt to create something that is ultimately benefit the entire society. There are a lot of prejudices. On the government side, that business is dirty. On the businesses side, that governments are ineffective. And we think, and we would like to do the most we can to overcome that situation. Actually, the technology, or the modern technology, specifically information technology, didn't really help to help both sides to overcome that situation. Technology has been very efficient, has been very straightforward, created a lot of new opportunities for which we may say societies were not ready. Well, in the business, we saw it as a business opportunity, specifically dealing with information technology businesses, related businesses. But for the last 10 years, we've been, I would say, walking in an area that we ultimately believe it's not our responsibility or area of responsibility. We see that technology can do many, many things, many good things. That traditional institutions which have been built in the industrial era are not working very well again in the information society. Basically, people can communicate, make anything they want directly without institutions. And we believe that the society is not ready for that. We think we need something like a new social agreement between all the parties involved. We believe that we need a type of new ethics and new morality for a situation in which individuals, organizations, institutions, and governments can go directly into opportunities and cooperation. And the existing institutional setup, the existing legal setup, is simply too narrow. And we see that the questions, which are the original questions of any society, like individuality, privacy, security, are coming back. In the business, we simply think we cannot be charged for something that's happening bad in the area of information technology and internet today. There are many dirty and bad things, and society has to make a new call for action for all the sides involved and try to set up the new social agreement for everybody who is involved. Technology cannot solve these issues. People will have to sit together, rethink their history, and start building the new one, which will be appropriate for the opportunities that the modern technologies are offering. So what I'm basically saying is that we should start thinking of two sides. There is nothing like business and nothing like government. We are all society. We have to be societies, individuals, or organizations that belong to the same society. And we seriously think we need to sit together and start building the new society before it's too late. So I don't want to really sound like desperate, because there are so many great things happening around us, and let's build on that great things that are happening rather than thinking of what's bad